Well, hello, how you doing? This is Mike here with Power Life. This is a jar of honey. Oh, it's lovely. It's wonderful. I put it on my toast. I put it in my coffee. You can put it on pastries. A lot of wonderful things you can do to mix it in recipes. But I also want to show you something else I got here. This is a bottle of vinegar. And they both have things they can do for us to help us out in different ways. But you got to know when and how much. So we'll get back to you talking about all this here in just a minute on Power Life.
This is Power Life with Pastor and Evangelist Mike Winters, bringing you the message of God's love, peace, and power in God's anointed word and music to encourage your heart. Now take the next few moments with us and find in Jesus the Power Life.
Well, yes, here we are. We're back. We're talking to you about some vinegar and some honey. This is Mike Winters here with Power Life program today, talking about how you can get some powerful ideas and thoughts and help from above to help you have a good, happy, and blessed life. I've got two things here. I've got some vinegar, and what should I just take a big drink of that? I don't know. Or should I just give a big spoonful of honey? The sweet and the sort of sour and acidy sort of thing. But you know what I've found out here, that they both can flavor foods, and you can use honey to sweeten your coffee, to sweeten pastries, on toast. Take a spoonful of honey because it's good for your gut health. Take care of you down here. And so it's a matter of sometimes life gives us some honey, and sometimes life gives us some vinegar. And sometimes I can say, what is vinegar good for? It's a little bit goes a long way. First of all, you can put it in a cup of some warm water with a little bit of a little dab of honey and some lemon flavor to it, and it's also good for gut health. Can help you out that way. And you can use it for pickling. You can use vinegar to make salad dressings. You can use vinegar as a cleaning agent. Sometimes you use it to, I know sometimes we have to run vinegar through our coffee pots to kind of clean out the lines on the coffee pots. And sometimes you can put a little vinegar mixture in something and use it to clean off glass. Vinegar is maybe not the sweetest tasting thing, but this is apple cider vinegar right here. Sometimes I make some pickled cucumbers, and I slice up cucumbers and onions and stuff, and put some water, some sugar, and some of this together, and make my own sort of homemade pickle thing. But you know, life is kind of that way, friends. You can sometimes get the blessing of life. In fact, you can get the good tasting parts of life. In fact, it says here raw honey. But sometimes you feel like you didn't get raw honey, you got a raw deal. And so we just need to understand how to balance these things out in life. Now, I want you to know that God's good for us, good to us. And if we find the right attitude, we can deal with a lot of things and overcome issues, problems. It's going to be all right. Like I said, I'll take a little taste of vinegar in some water with a little bit of lemon and maybe a little bit of honey with it. And it's supposed to be a good cleansing agent. It's supposed to be good for your stomach, good for your health. Sometimes life brings things our way that we think, I'd rather have a spoonful of honey. A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, somebody said, in the most delightful way. But sometimes if you mix a little bit of honey with the vinegar, mix it at the right proportion, then it's got some of the taste of honey and dilute the taste of vinegar a little bit. But God wants to do some good things for you in your life, friends. And sometimes you got certain relationships and you think, oh, you're so sweet. Isn't that wonderful? Nice people. You get other relationships and bump into other people in life, and it seems by your interaction that they're carrying around a spoonful of vinegar or maybe a jug of vinegar with them wherever they go. And so it's a matter of attitude and what we can do with it. So as I said a while ago, you know, both of these things could be good for food items. Both of these can be good for gut health. This one can be used as a cleaning agent as well. And so you got to know what these things are good for. But I'll take a spoonful of honey over a spoonful of this vinegar, except for the fact that they both can be good for you. And friends, sometimes life gets a little tough. We run into some problems, some issues, and we say, well, why does it have to be like this? Why do I have to have these complications? Why do I have to have these problems? Why do I have to have people that are not really on board with me, not really on my team, not really there to try to help me and get what I want in life. Well, we all have our own individualities and our own personalities. Right now, that's said supposedly that we've got about 7 billion people on Earth. And they all got their own attitude and their own priorities and their own desires and needs. And in the eyes of God, they're all very important, every single one. And so sometimes I think, well, the way I see things is the right way. My priorities are the right priorities. The foods that I like, that's the good food. The music that I like, well, that's the good music. But sometimes you got to realize that there's more to this life than just my own natural inclinations and my own preferences and, how people and things make me feel. It takes a big person, a mature person, to care more about the feelings and the repercussions of your actions on other people than your own self sometimes. It's easy to be selfish. I think we're all born with that possibility to put ourselves number one. That's why we're told that the 2 greatest commandments in the world would pull us away from that, which is love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. Not an easy thing to do. But with God's help, we can. I pray, I read my Bible, and I ask God to help me. And I attend church where I'm around other people that want some of the same things that I want, as far as let's all learn how to love God and love people and serve God together. Those kind of things. And that helps me to overcome some of my natural weaknesses and tendencies that might pull me away from being kind and helpful and loving and patient. And instead, by the grace of God, I can take a little bit of vinegar and I'll be all right, because I can find out that it's got a good purpose, even though it doesn't always taste the best if you just swig it down. But I can also take some honey. But do you know that if you take too much honey, it'll hurt you? Too much of anything can hurt you. Too much sugar or sweetness of the honey. But I love this honey. My wife puts it in her coffee all the time, and I like to put it in my drinks and coffee and tea and things like this. But friends, life sometimes gives you vinegar. Sometimes life gives you honey. But by the grace of God, we can learn how to let these things flow and move together. And all together, it brings us out into a good, balanced, happy life. Well, that's all I got to say about vinegar and honey today. But this is Mike Winters with today's edition of Power Life. And God bless you. You are loved. Yes, you are.